Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. For today's video, I just wanted to give you a couple of tips and tricks on how you can keep your Suggies warmer in winter. It's nothing really special, but I just wanted to mention these couple of things just so that you are aware what you can do, what you should do, and what you should avoid in winter. The most important thing is that you make sure that the room temperature of the room the Suggies are in is at least 68 degrees Fahrenheit or 20 degrees Celsius or more. I would say between 20 and 25 degrees Celsius is perfect in summer and in winter. Personally, I prefer over 22 degrees Celsius. That is, I don't know how much that is, but I'm going to put it on the screen. I did not write that down. But I like to keep the room in winter at around 24 degrees Celsius. That would be 75 Fahrenheit. And it's important that their whole cage is warm because you want them to be active. Don't use anything like a heat lamp or a heat rock. That's just going to make them very sedentary, and it's just not good for their health in general, but also very risky because they could chew on a cable, or the lamp could malfunction and burn the Suggies, or the heat rock could malfunction and burn the Suggies. So no, don't use those. And then of course keep in mind that if you would use a heat lamp, for example, the Suggies would just want to play in that area of the cage where it is warm and they wouldn't move a lot. So that's not the purpose of it. If you're keeping Suggies, you have to offer them a healthy, comfy life, and that means keeping them as warm as possible without going overboard, obviously, because too warm is not good for them either. But somewhere between 70 and 77 degrees Fahrenheit or 21 to 25 degrees Celsius would be perfect. There are a few things that you can do to make sure that they stay warmer for a longer period of time. The first thing that you can do is layer your pouches. So just take a double pouch. I'm just taking this one right here that I've made a couple weeks ago, just as an example, and then put a second one inside. So you have two pouches, one inside the other, and then attach both of them to the side of the cage, and that way they have a couple more layers of fleece and they will stay warmer for longer. What you should do next is cover your cage. You should actually cover your cage in summer and in winter, just because you are going to protect your walls, and then you're also going to protect your Suggies from drafts. But it is said that a cage cover will trap in the warmth for a bit longer, so you can do that. I just want to mention at this point that none of my tips are going to replace heating. I'm just giving you all of these tips in case something happens, like a power outage, for example. But you have to keep the room warm all the time and cold in summer. Did I mention that? You can also add a couple more fleece squares inside of their pouches just so that they have some nesting material that will keep them a bit warmer. And tip number one, in this case, super important, do not keep solitary sugar gliders because they need help. They need someone to keep them warm, to help them regulate their body temperature, so they need at least another Suggie. The more you have, the better it is. But don't, breed like crazy. Don't do that. Please don't. Also worth mentioning is the fact that Suggies that are older than 8 weeks, between 8 and 12 weeks, they have learned to regulate their own body temperature, or their bodies have learned to regulate their own body temperature. So normally, healthy adult Suggies do not need a heat lamp, and Joeys that were able to leave their parents don't need one either. In case the rest of your house or your apartment is not that warm, but you have to warm up the Suggie room, you can always use a space heater with a thermostat. One very important thing in winter is that you adjust your Suggie's diet to winter time. And I especially like that about the SGS2 diet because it even recommends that you double the amount of oatmeal that you use in winter, just because they need more energy because of the lower temperatures. And I wouldn't mind if they put on a couple grams. So I do prefer to serve them a bit more oatmeal. But keep that in mind when winter is coming, and this is not a Game of Thrones reference, you can either offer more oatmeal in their normal staple diet if it is included, or you can just mix it in with a dried mixture for during the day. Just make sure that they eat a bit more oatmeal than usual. But also keep in mind that you don't want overweight sugar gliders, so if you have overweight sugar gliders, please don't double the amount of oatmeal because that's not going to help. What I like to keep at home for emergencies are hand warmers, and I just accidentally activated this one before filming, so it's warm now. But I have a second one over here, so if you just press on the platelet, it's going to start warming up. There it is. Now it's starting to warm up. And now it's warm. So what you can do with these is either take a second pouch, like this one right here, and put the hand warmer inside it, and then attach the pouch with the hand warmer inside on the outside of the cage next to their sleeping pouch. And that way they have a bit of warmth coming from the other side, but they can't reach out for it and they can't actually get hurt. So this is a bit of extra warmth. It's not going to change the world for them, and it's not going to make their whole cage warmer, but it is going to warm up the pouches so that they have it more comfy when they're sleeping. My second tip for you is that you always keep heating plasters at home for emergencies. So if you have forgotten to prepare your hand warmers, for example, or if something else happened, you always have some heating plasters on hand, and you can do the exact same thing. So you open the heating plaster, you put it inside your pouch, you attach the pouch to the side of the cage from the outside again, next to the sleeping pouch, and it's going to keep them warm while they are sleeping. A third thing you can do is you can take a container like this one, for example, but you would make holes inside, a lot of holes, and then you would add a couple warmers, for example, or a warm bottle of water. So you close your container really tight. You don't want it to be opened during the night. Maybe even attach a couple of zip ties if you're unsure. Then you're going to lower the pouch so that it's closer to the container, almost on top, but not quite. You want to leave some distance between the container and the pouch. And then when they're sleeping inside the pouch, they can actually feel the warmth coming out of the container. So I think that's a good idea, and I really wanted to share it with you guys. I thankfully never had to use that, but I'm prepared in case I have to. My last tip is for when you have to transport them from A to B during winter. So what I like to do is take their transporter, it's this one right here. And this is their transporter for when we go to the vet's office. I already have some fleece inside just for comfort. And I already have this pouch inside because this is what I used in March when I last went to the vet. So you put the Suggies in a bonding pouch inside, and for me it's 2 bonding pouches because they're not introed. And in between the 2 bonding pouches, I actually opened one of these heating plasters, put it inside this pouch right here, and then I put the pouch between their bonding pouches like this. And this is how I kept them inside their transporter until we got at the vet's office. So I think that's a great tip, and I'm sorry if you already knew all of this. I'm hoping that I can help someone with these tips. That's why I'm filming them. But let me know if they're helpful, or give me more tips on keeping them warm in winter, because so many of the subbies also read the comments. So if you have anything to add, please do in the comments below. I have 2 more tips for you before I finish my video. The first tip is, because we are heating so much in winter, we have very dry air, and that is very bad for Suggies. You're going to notice that their fur gets a bit cracked, or maybe their ears are a bit dry. You don't want that. You can either use an air humidifier, and they're great. I have one of them too in my apartment. Are you actually... I'm seeing a tail somewhere. Where was the tail? Was it there? I forgot what I was saying because of you. Oreo? Nothing? I have one of those in my apartment too, and I love it. It's great for the Suggies and it's great for me too. You can also put ceramic bowls with water on top of the heating elements of your apartment, for example, or just spread them around the house. That's good too. And also when you're taking a hot shower or a hot bath, when you're done, don't forget to leave the door open so that the humid air can spread in your apartment or in your house. So keep in mind, they need humidity in winter because the air is so dry. And my last tip for you is, in case of emergency, in case of a power outage, how you can heat up your room. And you're going to need a couple candles and a couple terracotta pots. And it's called a pot and pot ceramic heater, I believe. Super easy to make, and there's a bunch of videos on YouTube on how you can make one. And I'm just going to link one of those in my description box. I really hope that you all are safe and warm this winter. Just in case anything bad happens, hopefully not, you can be prepared. So I've heard many good things about these pot and pot heaters. I've heard that they're really good. So just have a look at them and you will know what you can do in case of emergency. That was my video for today, guys. I hope you liked my tips, and if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this one. We have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat, and I will add all of the links and names in the description box below if you want to follow us over there. Thank you so very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!